What do you think just went wrong in the last 8 minutes?
Started with my turnover, and they got an and 1, and then every possession felt a little kind of congestion on offense, and then that fed into our defense. Definitely didn't help the situation at all. We gave up too many corner threes, too many offensive rebounds. It was just a quick momentum change that they took advantage of. Obviously, they hit shots. They had 5 threes, I think. Norm had 4. Coffee had 1. I gave up coming off strong side corner. So it was a tough one. Just played really well for 42 minutes. And then, they're a really good team that has some confidence, and we're still trying to prove that we're, that type of team, and didn't get it done.
Steph, why is the helping out on a strong side corner like a perennial thing? Is it scheme? Is it players just kind of falling asleep? And is it as prevalent as it looks? Like when you guys are going over film, do you figure it out more times than you not? And it just feels to us like you guys make that same mistake a lot.
Tonight I came off strong side on Coffee. They had Zubac running off that pick and roll. He was getting in the middle and kind of spraying it to either side, really. That's kind of a symptom of feeling like there's threats all over and you're overreacting to certain things, and you're trying to do the right thing and, be in a spot to help, but it may be a situation where help's not needed, and then the quick pass to the corner and they're taking advantage of it. Obviously we're undersized at most nights, and so the tendency is to, try to crowd the paint to give help. But tonight they made us pay. Sometimes you can close out and, late contest and it doesn't hurt you, but if the team's making them, a night like tonight can happen.
Steph, how much can you say about Brandon this first half and just tonight? Getting up there and rebounding against Plumlee and getting, taking charges and all the little things he does that have made his first half of his rookie season pretty spectacular.
He knows how to play. He's fearless and does a lot of the little things that impact winning. He had 25 tonight and was amazing on both ends of the floor. Even when he doesn't have the stat line, there's still a connection on both sides of the ball that he just finds a way to make the right play. So some of the stuff you can teach, some that you can't. You just have a feel, and he sees the pictures really well this early in his career, and it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do.
Steph, you guys have one more game coming up on the road, but how would you evaluate how you guys have done at home in the first half of the season?
If I'm not mistaken, we're probably like 500 at home. 14. So we're very average. Very average doesn't get it done in this league, so you gotta, we need to make a run, hopefully get bounced back tomorrow, and then, after the All-Star break, hit a stride that you win every game here and steal some on the road. That's the formula. But we've been very average so far, so got to regain that home court fear that we've been accustomed to in the past.
Steph, you mentioned tomorrow night's game, and Brandon said earlier that losing tonight makes it even more important to get tomorrow night. You guys have obviously had some momentum, a surge here going. How essential in your mind is it to regain that tomorrow as opposed to going to the break with 2 losses?
I think either way tonight would have went, we would have said the same thing about tomorrow. Like, either you're trying to keep the streak going, not have any missteps down before the break, and now it's the same mission but a different mindset of bouncing back and feeling good going into a 6-day break or whatever it is. So very, 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 very important game, to say the least.
Steph, you and James are obviously the same draft. Russ was 08, PG was 2010. I know you don't have a great feeling after a game like this, but what's it like to still have battles like this with guys you came into the league with or came into the league around the same time as you?
Yeah, it's always special. Especially me and James, like you said, the same draft. I've spent a lot of time with him at the, what is it called, the Naismith thing we did in college at the Final Four. We went up there, hung out a lot. Obviously, the draft experience, had a lot of battles back and forth over the years. Russ in there, like you said, PG. So we're all still trying to play at a high level. Talked about it with Bron, Katie, and guys that have been around for a very long time and names in this league that are still trying to play at a high level. So there's a lot of mutual respect. There's a lot of competition, too. Hate losing to them. I think they feel the same way. So we'll keep doing it.
Kuminga didn't have a bad scoring night, but it was maybe a little less dynamic than others. Are you seeing defenses play him differently? Is it a little more focus on him, and how have you seen him, or do you see him kind of adjusting to that?
That's a natural progression of becoming, that guy that instills a little fear in the coaching staff when they're scouting the team and trying to understand your tendencies. They have a very unique defensive style. They've, Ty Lue's great at in-game adjustments and does a lot of things to try to mix up the game and different looks. So not a surprise that, there was a kind of a slower type of night, but I think he's done an amazing job, or JK has, of staying patient, staying aggressive, though, at the same time, and finding, his spots and continuing to build that confidence that he's that guy that he can, change a game for us on both ends of the floor, but especially offensively. So one night's not going to get him down. It's just a matter of continuing to get better.
Hi, Steve. Happy Valentine's Day. And the love between you and Ayesha, that's just always admirable. And that's let me know that love is not like the result. Love is the process. And
come on, you preaching out here.
like the basketball game, right? And do you have any suggestion? How can we have the relationship and like you and Ayesha?
That is, I love my wife for sure. We're not up here trying to preach to anybody about what the relationship goals really look like. We just live our lives and support each other. So yeah, I appreciate the compliments. Hopefully we keep doing
it. You were up to think about 14 threes this month. It feels like taking attempts. It feels like you're taking a lot more. Is this a product of fresh legs? And do you remember at all the post All-Star break turn up where that used to be your thing? And is it done now?
I mean, the uptick is obviously there's confidence because it's going in, but it's also figuring out where I can get those looks because there's a period where, especially without Draymond, defenses were trying to take that away and send a crowd, and we have a lot of counters, for that when he's out there especially. But our team's trying to figure out how to get the ball moving when I draw attention like that. But if I get good looks, and the numbers say shoot, that's what I'll do. Thankfully, I'm hitting them at a high clip, and whatever. Again, each game is different, and you approach it with seeing what the defense is going to give you. And if it's shoot 14 plus threes, I'm gonna definitely do that, and hopefully you make your fair share of them. Obviously, I like to be efficient when I'm doing that, so that's always a standard. But I don't know about the patterns of the season. I always have like a little down period, December-ish, and usually come back. We did have a long break, unfortunately, in there where we might have got a little fresh physically, but it's a long season. You just take the ebbs and flows and stay even keel throughout the whole process. Shoot shots that you normally shoot.
You might have heard or seen the report this morning that your owner made a bid for a fairly large, big name player. Not asking you specifically about that, but does it ever surprise you when you hear about your team, fishing in the deep water here, and for anybody they can get at the top of the game?
No, never a surprise. It's always a surprise that stuff like that gets out, because I'm assuming that every team is making calls that if every fan base or media group would know about it, it would maybe normalize the conversations that happen, in the front office, especially around the trade deadline, when you're exploring around the league who's available, who's not, and gauging interest on that. So obviously a guy like LeBron, you would probably call just to see. I don't know what the depths of those conversations were, but that was a nice little surprise this morning, for sure.
Let's do this one more. We got to catch a flight.
I know before the game you finally were able to make your opposite tunnel shot. Despite the loss, it was kind of a viral moment before the game. Was that a pretty cool moment for you? Would that rank towards the top of your kind of pregame warm-up moments there?
I shoot that shot once whenever the opposing team switches ends of the floor. First time I've ever made it, so it was nice to get the juices flowing before the game, but don't really think about it after that.